Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce and this is my garage. Today I am going to be doing a ceramic coating on this 2017 Toyota Highlander. Come on in and let's look at the details to ceramic coat this vehicle using Gtechniq's Crystal Serum Light and ExoV5. So come on in and let's have some fun. So we have done all the preparation steps necessary before we apply the coating. And I've got some other videos on all of those steps, but we've completely washed the car. We've decontaminated both chemically and mechanically, and we've used panel wipe. So now we're ready to apply the first coating, Crystal Serum Light. Comes in a bottle here, as you can see. And this bottle also, it comes with an applicator. And the applicator also has a dropper or pipette. So we will saturate a little bit with Crystal Serum Light on the applicator. So we have to kind of prime the pad for the first time. And then it's only really a few drops each time that we apply the coating. I'm starting over here on the roof. I'm going to get that done. I hate doing the roof. And I'm going to start over here by the sunroof, and I'll do this area first. Then I will kind of assess how long it takes before it flashes. And remember, flashing is we'll see the sweating on the surface or a little bit of rainbow effect. Typically, Crystal Serum Light is pretty quick, so I'm not expecting a flash time greater than a minute, but we will take a look at that. I like to time it so that then I have a guide as I move forward. I'm boxing this in. And I'm going to go in a, kind of just make sure I get a nice coverage here. All in these spots. And now I'm going to start my stopwatch. And I'm going to just keep an eye on the coating and see again when it starts to sweat a bit, and then we will remove. Again, this should be pretty quick, and I can see it's already starting and we're about 20 seconds in. And what you're trying to do is to get that to start to link to the paint surface. So this is showing 72 degrees in the garage. 67% humidity. So keep in mind that as temperature and humidity rise, the amount of time it takes for the coating to be ready to level is less. So it goes down. And so I'm going to use, in fact, I'm going to move these. I'm going to use 2 towels. I'm going to use the short nap towel first, and then I will use the longer nap. And it's ready to level. So I'm just going to go straight across here. And that was at about looks like 1 minute, just over a minute. And then I'm going to follow that up with this second towel. And just kind of buff over that surface. That's it. And you always make sure that, you've got to make sure that you're not leaving high spots. And I will use a paint correction light and just take a quick look. Again, this is just my first pass on this, so it should be good to go. I'm going to continue to apply the coating. I forgot to mention, make sure you shake up the bottle. That is really important, particularly the first time. Now when I'm applying additional coating, again, it's 1 pipette. Just a few drops really on the surface of the applicator. And then I'm now going to again select another small area. I'm using these body lines to help me keep track of where I've applied. And the key here is just smooth strokes, and to make sure, it's not a big deal, you just want to make sure that you get everything covered. Because when you level with your pad, with your microfiber towel, is when you'll make sure that everything is really evenly covered. But you got to start with getting the application covered on all those surfaces. And now I'm going to level, and essentially I'm just going across the surface here, removing any excess and really those carrier solvents. And I'm overlapping just a little bit here so I don't leave any of those high spots. You can flip the microfiber, and then I'm going to take my second higher nap towel and kind of buff that. And once you do this, I mean, you can really not only feel it, but I mean, you can see, like I can see just a noticeable difference in where I've coated. And this is a black car. And black cars are really dark colors. You always run a higher risk for high spots where you miss things or have too much coating. But you also can immediately see this just tremendous gloss. It's like my favorite. Between that and how slick the surface feels are my favorite parts of ceramic coating. It just is like this immediate reward, and it's so cool to see and feel. All right, I am continuing to apply crystal serum light on the roof here, adding some more coating to the applicator. And I'm going to go all the way to the end here, up and on the fin. In fact, I'm going to go all the way across here. So I've essentially boxed in the space. So again, I can kind of keep track of where I've applied or where I am. My goal is to apply. These tight areas, you just want to make sure that you're really leveling this. It's kind of spreading the coating a bit. Follow that up again with the softer microfiber. This is kind of a buff. It's a second level. You know, I could see some high spots here that were overlapping. Again, at this point, it's very easy to correct those, which is why you want to look closely. The coating's still wet, so you can level it just by wiping. But if that cures, leveling becomes a little bit more challenging, and sometimes then you have to remove the coating with polish. You know, polishing it out and then recoating. Okay, the roof is all done. And so now I'm going to start on the hood with right over in this area here. There's a nice body line right here. So I'm going to stay in this part of the hood for the next part of the coating. Then I'll start working my way over to finish the hood itself. Again, got the coating. We're going to give that a quick shake. And essentially I'm going to apply one line to the pad, cap back on, and now I'm going to apply across this body line on the hood here. So I'm outlining, then I'm going all the way down, back up, and then I will just cross hatch again to make sure I get everything covered. Now we will watch for the flash. And again, this should just start kind of, it's almost an evaporation where it's starting to sweat on the surface. And that's when we will do our first wipe with the microfiber. By the way, these are Rip and Rag from the Rag Company. These are the Ultra or the XL. These are fantastic towels for coating because honestly, sometimes your coating towels are going to get crusted over with coating. unless you really start to put them in rinseless wash right away when you're done using them. It's not worth it. So I basically just throw these away after I've used them. So the XLs are just perfect for this. And this is pretty good here. This is all. I'm just going to go down and again, doing a couple passes here. I'm going to flip my microfiber. It's a little moist. I wish you could feel this because this thing is so slick, and it's only going to get slicker when we do ExoV5 on top. Now, it's amazing to me. It's my favorite thing. And the gloss is really great. I mean, it just makes the paint rich. Apply to the applicator. Cap back on. And here we go. Boxing in, again along this body line. And then I'm just going to cross hatch back. Okay, that's looking great. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I'm actually like spreading coating here, which is what you want to make sure that I completely get that so we don't have these high spots on here. And that's why this second tile becomes really valuable. You're kind of blending, if you will. Going all the way down again. I'm going to follow this body line here. Hopefully you'll start to see this sweating. Again, this has not been the easiest thing for me to capture on camera, but I think it's important to at least be able to see that so that you can see it. But I think you can start to see where the light's reflecting in this area here, how that's starting to sweat. And that's really what you're looking for. And again, I'm seeing that quite a bit. Really slick. Really slick. We now have just this one section of the hood remaining. So I'm now going to coat that last section of the hood. Again, I'm kind of boxing in. Straight down. Hopefully you will begin to see, and if you see I did go over this body line a little bit, again, that's where when we level, we'll be smoothing that out so those don't just stay as marks like if you were painting and doing touch-up. You don't want to see where you touched up. Same kind of thing here. In the end, you want it to all look uniform. I think you can start to see it starting to sweat. In this area here, it's becoming a little bit more visible. I'm going to grab my paint correction light, see if I can shine light on there to make it easier to see. This might help where you can begin to see where it's starting to sweat, and it is quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and level this. Make sure this is leveled very well. Okay, the hood is completely done. Just going to take a look here. You know, when I shine my paint correction light, of course, I still see some imperfections in the paint, which is not totally surprising because I couldn't get everything out and I didn't want to go too far. On the paint correction side, there is some etching of some bugs and a few other little imperfections that I didn't push too far on. Sure hope you can appreciate that gloss. I don't know if you can tell the difference and you can see the reflection in here from the light, but it's like a mirror. And it just, this towel just glides over the surface. Really is amazing. And you can kind of see me in the reflection. Okay, now I'm working on the door. I am using a little bit different applicator, mainly because the other one got a bit dirty when I went over that trim. Either I don't think it was the trim, I think it's just a little bit of discoloration. So I'm using this no-soak applicator from the Rag Company. It's a little bit larger applicator, but it also has a barrier between these two sides, which prevents coating from being absorbed, which is really nice because you can use less coating. But I did prime the pad again. These are no-soak applicators from the Rag Company, and they are very nice to work with. So here's where I've gone over again on that panel, so I want to make sure that I really level that so we don't get any high spots on that other part of the panel. That quarter panel we just did. I'm hoping that right now you can get just how glossy this surface is. This is my face right here. Here are my hands looking right into the side panel here, the door. I'm not looking at you, I'm looking straight at the door. And I can see myself. I swear it's like looking in a mirror. It is almost that sharp and that bright. It is looking fantastic. I'm going to finish up this side of the vehicle, and when we come back and we do ExoV5, it gets even glossier and slicker. So the car has now been completely coated with Crystal Serum Light CSL, and it's been about 2 hours since that application was done. So I had already started on ExoV5 and I completed the roof and the back. And now I'm over to the hood, and I'm going to show you on ExoV5. Now ExoV5, very similar in terms of the application process. One of the differences, and it's a minor difference, is there is no pipette. You just basically, it's got a dropper top. So this has, again, comes with the same applicator. Shake it up. And just going to put a few drops on here. Cap back on. And then I'm going to apply, again, following body lines, I'm going to do right here on the hood. The application process essentially the same. Flash time was a little bit longer. And I will tell you that because there's already a coating on here, CSL, that when you put ExoV5, it's like gliding on here. I'm afraid like my hand's just going to slip right off. And now I will follow it up with the second microfiber that is a little bit plusher. And I'm going to go make my dividing line here. This is looking really good, very smooth and silky. I'm going to flip over to the other side and I'm going to finish the hood. I think you can see again where this is now ready to be leveled. Now I have this last section of the hood right here. So I'm going to go ahead and apply ExoV5 to that section. It's important that you have a methodical method of going around the vehicle so you don't forget what you've done and what you haven't done, whatever that method is. And you can start to see that evaporation of the carrier chemicals and starting to flash where it's just kind of bubbling up on the surface, or what you might hear called sweating, which means it's ready to be leveled. One area that I think gets forgotten when you're coating are the door jambs. And the door jambs, the reason why I think it's a good spot to provide coating is because this area is really hard to clean sometimes and gets missed. And by having the coating there, hopefully it resists some of that dirt and makes cleaning a little bit easier. Well, the 2017 Toyota Highlander is done. The complete detail. The car is now coated with CSL and ExoV5. It looks fantastic. I'm going to show you some shots here. I want you to look at what it looked like before, what it looks like now. The paint is actually shimmering, super glossy, just like a mirror, which is starkly different than what it looked like when I got the car. It just was really, the paint needed a lot of work. And while I didn't go through all the steps of what to do before we're ready for the ceramic coating, there was a lot of work to get the paint to the level it's at today. And again, it's not perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect, but it's 10 times better or 20 times better than what it was, and it looks great, and now it's got some chemical resistance, it's got some great hydrophobics, and it looks great, and you'll have some good protection for years to come. So I want you to go out in your garage. Remember, go out and just have fun. You can do this stuff yourself. If this video was helpful for you, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And of course, I'd love it if you subscribed. But more importantly is I just want you to go out and have fun and enjoy your car and enjoy detailing. Thanks for coming to Bruce's Garage. Have a great day.